Hi everyone, Michael from Mike's RC Review. Here just testing out a new addition that I've put onto the FJ, which are Proline closed cell single stage foams. Now you'll notice, or you may not notice, but you may also notice if you watched the previous video I did on this a few weeks back, that the tyres were a little bit soft. The rig does weigh around about, I'd say, 6.7 kilograms from the last time I weighed it. I have added a couple of scale items on there since that video, and I think it probably weighs around about 7 kilos on the dot now. The only weight that I've added to this, that I've actually intentionally added, is the 150 grams of lead weights that I've put underneath the bumper, and also a 6S battery, which is a 4000 milliamp 6S battery. Sorry, no, a 2200 milliamp 6S battery that I've added to the front just as a weight on it. And the reason I added weight to this, guys, a lot of people say, why would you do that? You know, performance is shit, all that stuff. Yeah, I get it, but because this is a leaf sprung vehicle, and the way I've set my leaf springs up is I've got 2 leaf springs per wheel. I need weight to actually get it to articulate, right? So without the weight on there, it's like having something without suspension, without any springs. So it just does not perform well. So with the weight on there, as you can see, I can get the articulation as you would normally get in any leaf sprung vehicle or any coil sprung vehicle. Obviously leaf sprung vehicles have less articulation than coil sprung vehicles. So if it's flex that you're after, if you're looking at a leaf sprung rig, forget about it, because you're not going to get the flex anywhere near the flex that a coil sprung vehicle will offer. But with the right setup, so what I mean by that is with the right weight on your rig, on your hard body, and also on your chassis, so the right weight and the right leaf spring setup, you should be able to get a happy medium between both articulation and firmness. A lot of people who transition from coil sprung vehicles to leaf sprung vehicles do it because they actually like seeing wheels in the air. When I say wheels in the air, what I mean is because you don't get the flex that you normally get out of a coil sprung vehicle. Normally when you climb something, say like this rock, as you can see there, the front right tire is in the air. Okay, so that's what I mean by wheels in the air. So there's always going to be one wheel that's going to be in the air as you climb something, because it doesn't give you the flex or flexibility or articulation, however you want to call it, that a coil sprung vehicle gives. Okay, now this weighing as much as it does gives it the perfect balance to be able to give it the articulation that it's giving now, to actually look like a real one-to-one vehicle. But at the same token, it is a heavy rig, okay, so very heavy rig. So if this was to flip over, it will break a lot of things. That's why I'm being careful as to where I'm driving it. For most of the part, it does perform very well. It is not a useless rig. It's something that I can take almost anywhere I take my D90, which is my go-to vehicle if I want to have fun. The only thing that I have to be extra careful with this, though, is side heeling or side stance, because if it does tip over, it will do a lot of damage. Okay, so that's the only real risk to having a rig like this, because the heavier it is, the harder it does roll and fall. So, but the tires, look, because they are so hard now, it's not giving it anywhere near the absorption that it used to give when I had the soft dual stage foams from Pitbull. Okay, because these are Pitbull Rock Beast tires. But they are performing fairly well. And if you go by scale, like scale real vehicles, when you're four-wheel driving, if you're going into sandy or muddy terrain, you'd normally have to air down. Obviously, I don't have that option in a 110 scale vehicle, because it's either have a soft tire with the dual stage foams that I used to have, or have a really hard tire like I have now, fitting the Proline single stage foams. But having them in here, it's more of a positive for me. I'd actually rate them 7 out of 10, whereas I would rate the soft foams that I used to have on this probably a 6 or a 5, because with the soft ones, you couldn't even park this rig for 10 seconds without getting a flat spot. Whereas now I could park it overnight, or I could park it every time I park it without having any flat spots on my tires. So it's basically like having a real tire on there. The only problem is I cannot air down, as I said. So if I go into muddy terrain or sandy terrain, which I probably would never do with this rig anyway, intentionally, because it is my shelf queen and my mantelpiece, I probably wouldn't get it dirty to that extent, so it's not a problem for me anyway. Whereas if it's just simple rock climbing like this or rock crawling like this, I'm happy enough with the performance that these foams give. It actually added a lot of positives to driving it with these foams, as opposed to having the negatives that it has. Which the negatives these foams offer is the fact that they are very harsh, very hard. But I wanted to share that with you guys as I progress with this FJ build. It's never going to be finished. There's always going to be something that I want on this. There are a few surprises coming along very soon, but those with keen eyes will also notice that there's a few new things on the rig now. And one of them is I have actually changed the wiper motor box. I've built or made another version of the one, since I had the very thin version of it before. I have ordered a real one from CC Hand, but that's not here yet, and that's the reason why I decided to make one until it arrives. I've also ordered a CC Hand roof rack, a metal roof rack with the wooden slats. That's also on its way. I've also added the checker plating on the side steps, okay, which is a lot of FJs I see actually have them, but they have them in silver and chrome. I decided to do mine in black to match the black roof. The other thing I've added is the foams, which is what the basis of this video is for. And a couple of other things I've added, which one of them is the scale exhaust from CC Hand. That's there now. Used to be a homemade version. And I've also got ARB diffs coming. So the ARB red metal diff covers, they're on their way. And I don't know if these were here before, but if they weren't, I'd show you now. These are the scale locking hubs at the front from RC4WD drive. So every time you see this, there's going to be a change to it. So the next video I do, hopefully the diff covers will be here, the roof rack will be here, and the CC Hand wiper motor box. And the other thing that will be here, or that is here now, sorry, is the CC Hand mud spats. So that's the other thing that I added to it. So hopefully, yeah, by the time I do the next video, there'll be a few other scale options on it. But until then, this is how it looks. And the other thing that I've forgotten to mention to you guys, because there was a few things, is the metal wipers. Okay, they're not CC Hand, they are another brand, but they are absolutely scale, because they do have a spring inbuilt inside them that you have to assemble. And they do actually articulate out, and as you can see, they're actually rubber as well. So you can order these in black. They will fit almost any 1/10 scale rig or car, and they look absolutely real, very, very real. I don't regret ordering them in silver. I intentionally did order them in silver because I do have an inkling to actually change the roof back to white and change the grille back to white as well, just like the real FJ, to make it a full scale replica of an FJ in 1/10 scale. But yeah, I'm still iffy about it. So when every one of the parts that I ordered arrive, what I will do is I will make a video and get you guys to give me some votes on who wants to see this rig back to white in the roof, in the grille, or who wants to leave it in black. Okay, the other idea I've got, instead of having the gloss clear coat, it's not too late for me to actually put matte clear coat on this as well, to seal all the scale panel lines that I've painted on. Okay, because I've had to paint the panel lines on there. Now I do know that I can still paint over all this and make it into a matte finish, because right now it's a bit too shiny, and a lot of people complain about that. That was actually intentional for me, because I wanted to build a retro vehicle that does look new. Okay, so I wanted to build a resto mod, so restored, modified, and modernized. I was not going for a rusted old shit bucket look, which is a lot of FJ or BJ40 builders in 110 scale, so RC4WD drive and other brands that they build them with, they tend to go for the rusted out look. I didn't want to go for a rusted out look, guys, because everybody does it. So I wanted to be a little bit different, and I wanted to go for a modern look, something that's been restored already and been modernized and modified. And I think I've achieved that. But I'm not changing it back to white to appease people. I'm changing it back to white because I actually like the look of the white roof, and it makes it look like a real Toyota build. Whereas this does look like a something that somebody has obviously done, not something from the Toyota factory. So that's what I'm trying to achieve in the next few videos that I make of this FJ series rig. I am actually changing it from FJ40 to BJ40 because now I've just learnt as well recently that the BJ40 is a diesel version of the FJ. Even though this is an American version because it's a left-hand drive. In Australia, we have the BJ40, which is the diesel, and I have replicated that by putting the diesel badge there. So this is actually the BJ40, not the FJ40. But yeah, so in the next video, hopefully I can showcase a couple of new things for you guys. Obviously the number plate as well. I've changed from, I think the location used to be on the wheel itself, and if you're keen-eyed, you'll also notice that the spare tire is now on the right-hand side, not on the left-hand side. I did change the positioning of that. You can do it with the RC4WD drive swing-out tire holder. You just have to mess with it a little bit, but I've managed to do it. And also the rear basket I've taken off just to give it a little bit of a different look, not even to lighten it up. I actually did like the look of the basket off, not on. So, but yeah, hopefully that's given you guys an insight as to what these Proline foams are about. They've been around for a long time now. They do fit 4.75-inch outer diameter tires, 1.9 inner. My tires are 1.9 by 4.45 Pitbull Rock Beasts, so they will obviously fit these because they do fit. And yeah, hopefully, you know, if there's any questions, just let me know. But until the next time, guys, I'd like to wish you all the best, and thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and click the notification bell for new videos. Every time I release a video, at least you guys will be the first to know. I haven't been able to release a lot lately, but I am going to continue with this FJ series, this BJ series, because the BJ40 is, as I said, it's been my mantelpiece for a while, and it will be for a long time to come. It's probably the one rig that I will never think of selling. So I'm going to make it as scale as I can and as scale as possible to the real 1-to-1 scale BJ40. Thank you for joining me once again, guys. Michael signing out.